I'm sure that Isabel was just as stunned and horrified as I was when I read this story over the weekend. It's absolutely shocking. And what it proves to me is one of the problems with modern Britain is that the people who run it, the senior civil servants, the senior coppers, more and more at executive level in the government, too many of them are fully paid members of the Guardian Reader left-wing society, and they are at war with normal people in this country. So Prevent, which is the government's anti-terrorism organisation that de-radicalises young people who have sort of bought the Al-Qaeda message and all that sort of thing. It's all about sort of catching people earlier, de-radicalising them, you know, making sure they don't fall into bad ways, and also sort of classifying. The big work they do is, where are the problem areas? Where are our next terrorist attacks coming from? And of course, absurdly in the past, they've always said, well, the biggest threat to this country is far-right terrorism. No, it isn't. It's Islamic terrorism, which is responsible for 84% of all attacks in this country and around the world. 84%. So, you know, they come up with this sort of politically charged claptrap to point the finger at the far right when the real problem is Islam. But what they've decided now, in their infinite lack of wisdom, they've literally, this is in their guidelines, that if you're a person who's worried about the migrant crisis, worried about the number of people coming across the channel, number of people coming legally, you know, the whatever it is, 810,000 asylum seekers in 200 hotels all around the country. If you're worried about that, and particularly if you're worried about the effect this ongoing invasion may have on traditional British culture, now, I'm sure you are worried about it. I'm worried about it. I know millions of people out there are worried about it. According to the people who run Prevent, that makes you, me, and the millions of other people who share our concerns over the migrant crisis, that makes us people who have signed up to, and I quote, a terrorist ideology, and we may require de-radicalisation. That is so mad. It is terrifying.
I mean, first of all, I really struggle to take anything seriously from Prevent. I mean, even before this absolute lunacy, this is, after all, the organisation that failed to prevent Axel Rudikabana carrying out his absolute horrors in Southport. You know, time and again, it has been discredited. But I think
just to interrupt you for a second, I'm looking down now at London Bridge. You remember the London Bridge terrorist attack, 2 poor people killed? Well, the perpetrator of that horror was a young man who had been through the Prevent programme and had been magnificently successfully de-radicalised, although maybe not much really. A typical success story from the joke that is Prevent.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we don't know what they have successfully prevented, because how can you ever prove that? And that will probably be their excuse. But I do think with this absolute nonsense that they've peddled in the last few days, they have actually written their own epitaph. You know, I can't see a future government, if I can put it this way, a future government that is not a Labour government, continuing to fund this ridiculous organisation. And how can anyone take it seriously? You know, probably the vast majority of people, the overwhelming majority of people in the UK are concerned about all of these things, and quite rightly so. And the reason that many people are concerned about boatloads of unidentified foreign men coming from very, very difficult parts of the world is precisely because of the risk that even if one of those people has a bad agenda, does not agree with our values, then we are all less safe for it. There is a real national security issue. So to turn that on us is the ultimate gaslighting and grossly irresponsible.
But I think it's also, it's juvenile, it's infantile. These are people who believe that if you're right of centre, then you're far right. It's the Keir Starmer approach to politics. Anyone who doesn't agree with their sort of guardian reasoning, be kind approach to life is somehow some kind of far right danger to society. That's the way they think. So it's irresponsible what they've done. It's also moronic and it's infantile. And these are the people running a very important anti-terrorism unit. This is worrying.
It is so pathetic. It's the same mentality, the same thing. I see it on social media every day that simply responds to any criticism or critique of mass uncontrolled immigration with the cry of racism. That is how juvenile this is. It's the equivalent. It's the equivalent of saying, oh, you're a racist because you don't agree with mass uncontrolled immigration.
Exactly.
Of course that doesn't make you racist, just as it doesn't make you a terrorist or particularly radical. It's completely common sense to want to control who comes in and out of our country.
Of course it is.